Sometimes peace ends not with a bang, but with the quiet click of a lock you didn't put there. The sun dips low over the Colorado plains, throwing gold across the rusted fence lines of my family's ranch. I step out of my pickup, boots crunching against gravel, and breathe in the scent of dry grass and pine. This land, it's more than home. It's legacy. My grandfather's callous hands built the fences. My father taught me to ride through these hills. Now it's mine to protect. And I do, even if I'm the only black landowner for 10 miles in any direction. The HOA doesn't run my land. Technically, they can't. I own acreage just outside the subdivision's official reach. But that hasn't stopped them from trying. It started subtle, a condescending letter about my non-conforming fence style, a complaint about unauthorized structures when I replace a barn roof. Last week, they sent a warning about noxious weeds. I laughed. They were wildflowers. I try to ignore it. I don't attend the meetings. I don't pay dues. But the subdivision keeps expanding, and I'm the last holdout. A free black man on inherited land. Not something Karen likes seeing from her granite-topped kitchen window. Today feels off. As I drive up the winding road toward the ranch gate, I catch a glint of silver in the evening light. I slow down. My gate. It's padlocked shut. I blink. That padlock is mine. I climb out, heart knocking. Someone has welded a new chain to my own gate posts. There's a laminated notice zip-tied to the fence. Private access restricted by HOA order. Trespassers will be prosecuted. I stand there, wind tugging the corner of the paper, the sound of cicadas rising in the background. I run my fingers across the cold metal chain. New, solid, shiny. The road behind me is empty, not a soul in sight. But I feel watched. I snap a photo. Another. Then one of the laminated sign. My jaw clenches. Who the hell does this? I check my landline messages once I finally park in the back pasture, forced to drive around the long utility trail. There's one new voicemail. A chirpy woman's voice, fake sweet like Splenda. Hi, this is Karen Holloway, acting president of the Larkspur Hills HOA. We've had some concerns about your road usage, and for safety reasons, we've temporarily restricted access. Please attend our next meeting if you'd like to discuss it further. Have a blessed day. I stare at my phone, barely able to breathe. She locked me out of my own damn property. A knot twists in my gut, not just anger, but something older, familiar, the same bitter taste my father once warned me about. They'll smile in your face while stealing your rights. I didn't want to fight, but now I can feel it coming, and I'm not backing down. The next morning, I head straight to the gate, bolt cutters in hand. It's still locked, but now there's a second sign posted. Gate under HOA surveillance. Tampering is a criminal offense. Surveillance? I glance up. Sure enough, a brand new security camera sits nailed to a pine tree across the road, aimed straight at my gate like a sniper scope. I don't even touch the lock. Not yet. Let them think they're winning. Instead, I head back to my porch, grab coffee, and start digging. Who installed it? Who approved it? How? The HOA's website is no help. Just passive-aggressive PDFs and a board member list with one name I already know too well. Karen Holloway. Blonde. Botoxed. Mid-50s. Drives a pearl-white BMW that she definitely leases. Moved here from California a year ago and started rewriting the HOA charter within 3 months. I've seen her at the farmer's market once. Gave me that tight-lipped smile some white folks use when they're trying to hide the fact they think you don't belong. Now she's trying to manage the one piece of land she doesn't control. I make a few calls. County records, zoning office, sheriff's department. Turns out no official complaint has ever been filed about my gate. No request, no inspection, no code violation. So who authorized the padlock? Later that afternoon, I catch movement on the edge of my property. Through binoculars, I spot her, Karen, pacing near the HOA's edge with another board member. They're pointing toward my pasture, laughing. My jaw tightens. She thinks I'm bluffing. I drive down to the mailbox that evening. As I'm pulling out envelopes, I hear gravel crunching behind me. Her BMW idles beside my truck. She rolls down the window. "Evening," she chirps. "Sunglasses still on though the sun's already down. Saw your gate situation. Real unfortunate. But rules are rules, Mr. Jackson." My grip tightens on the mailbox handle. Whose rules? She smiles, sharp as a blade. "The neighborhood's. You've been using a private road without contributing to its maintenance. The board voted to secure it. You're trespassing," I say quietly, "and you're tampering with a private gate that's not even on HOA land." Karen shrugs. "It's a gray area. The easement technically overlaps our jurisdiction." It doesn't. I know it. She knows it. But this is about power. I stare at her. "You gonna unlock it?" "Only once you agree to pay annual dues. It's just fairness, really." My blood boils, but I don't raise my voice. Instead, I smile. "You just made a mistake." I say. She scoffs, rolling up her window. "We'll see who did." She speeds off, tires spinning gravel into the ditch. I stand there, fists clenched, watching her brake lights vanish into the night. It's not just about a gate. It never was. This is about control, about reminding the only black rancher for miles at this land, no matter who owns it, still has a gate someone else thinks they can lock. But she doesn't know who she's dealing with. Yet, by the third day, I've had enough of playing polite. I call the sheriff's office again, this time with photos, parcel maps, and the county easement documentation. Officer Rhodes, a local with a weathered face and a slow drawl, listens while flipping to my evidence on his tablet. "Well," he mutters, "looks like that padlock's on your gate, on your land." "No, looks like about it." I reply. "It is." He nods slowly. "But the HOA's claiming community right-of-way through that stretch. Says the road's co-owned. Some kind of shared use clause." "There's no clause." I snap. "They forged it or they're bluffing." He sighs. "You want us to send someone out?" I stare him down. "You gonna cut that lock off?" He hesitates. "Not without a court order." Translation. Karen's pulling strings. So I call my cousin Isaiah, lawyer, ex-military, and very familiar with property law. When he shows up that evening in his matte black Jeep, the temperature seems to drop a full 10 degrees. "You bring the documents?" he asks, stepping out with a briefcase and fire in his eyes. "I brought more than that," I tell him, pointing toward the tree line. A motion-sensitive drone is already in place, circling silently over the gate and the nearby HOA boundary. I show Isaiah the feed, 2 nights of footage, one with a white truck welding the chain at 2 a.m., the other with Karen pacing around the camera, smirking into it. "This woman just committed criminal trespass and vandalism," he says, jaw tight. "She thinks she's above the law. And she's hiding behind the HOA." We start making moves. I file a formal complaint with the county. Isaiah drafts a cease and desist letter, backed by precedent and barbed with legal consequences. We email it to the HOA board and hand-deliver it to Karen's oversized stucco mansion. She answers the door in yoga pants and a smug expression. "Mr. Jackson," she says, sipping a green smoothie, "here to negotiate?" Isaiah steps in front of me and hands her the envelope. "No, we're here to end this." Her smile falters. "Excuse me? You'll remove that lock by sundown or face felony charges. You are not above the law. Ms. Holloway." She scoffs, scanning the document. "This is ridiculous. You're blowing things way out of proportion." That's what entitled people say right before a judge hands them a court date. Isaiah replies. Her eyes flash. "You'll regret this." Isaiah leans in. "No, you will." She slams the door. We wait. Sun goes down. The lock stays. The next morning, I try to access my land again, only to find a fresh layer of barbed wire coiled along the gate. Karen doubled down. She wanted a confrontation, so I give her one. I set up a large wooden sign by the road that reads, "Private property, no trespassing. Unauthorized HOA tampering under surveillance." I post drone footage online. I tag the sheriff. I tag the county. I tag every local watchdog group. The post starts gaining traction. Dozens of shares. People start commenting. Typical HOA tyranny. Can't stand seeing a black man own land. Karen's gonna learn today. This ain't about fences. It's about control. Karen responds with a public HOA memo, accusing me of aggression, creating division in the neighborhood, and claiming that my unpermitted activities pose safety concerns. She thinks if she controls the narrative, she'll win. But she doesn't know I've already sent her little safety concerns memo to a journalist friend. And then I get the footage. Tuesday night, 11:43 p.m. Karen and two men with bolt cutters walk right up to the gate. They don't see the infrared drone. They add more wire. They spray paint a fake property boundary line. And then Karen looks straight into the camera and laughs. That's the last straw. Isaiah leans over my shoulder, watching the video loop. She just hanged herself. I nod slowly. Let's light the match. Saturday morning. I wear my cleanest flannel, boots polished, and drive straight to the Larkspur Hills HOA meeting. I'm not on the agenda. Doesn't matter. Today, I'm the main event. Karen's already there, surrounded by her usual echo chamber, a dozen board members, most white, most retired, sipping free coffee from branded HOA mugs like it's Sunday brunch. Her posture says it all, smug, unbothered, rehearsed. She doesn't see Isaiah trailing behind me, briefcase in hand, or the GoPro clipped discreetly to my jacket, or the reporter from the local paper seated quietly in the back row. Mr. Jackson, Karen says, rising from her chair with that customer service smile glued to her face. This meeting is for HOA members only. You're not. Spare me. I interrupt. Calm. Cold. You locked me on my own land. I'm here to address it. I'm sorry, but we've already issued multiple notices about unauthorized road use. You mean the public easement road that predates this subdivision by 60 years? I say, louder this time, letting my voice carry across the folding chairs. The one your own bylaws admit is outside HOA jurisdiction? The room shifts. A few members murmur. Karen's eyes narrow. You've been warned several times, Mr. Jackson, she says. Your combative tone isn't helping. Isaiah steps forward, calm and surgical. What isn't helping, he says, placing a folder on the table, is a private citizen padlocking access to land they don't own, committing felony vandalism, and lying to community about legal boundaries. Karen flushes. You're not part of this board. No, Isaiah says, opening the folder, but the district attorney will be. He lays down still images. Karen at the gate with bolt cutters. Karen laughing into the drone's night vision lens. Karen dragging barbed wire across the path. Gasps ripple through the room. Karen snatches one of the photos, scanning it with disbelief that collapses into rage. You were spying on me? Security footage. I say flatly. From my land. After you tampered with my property. You want to talk trespassing? Let's talk felony charges. She tries to pivot, spinning to her audience. This man has been hostile since the day I moved in. He refuses to respect our neighborhood standards. He's black. I say quietly. Dead silence. Karen freezes. You could hear the clock ticking on the back wall. I've kept to myself. Paid my taxes. Maintained my fences. Never once asked you for anything. I say, voice calm but steady. And you still couldn't handle seeing someone like me owning more land than your whole HOA combined. That's not true, she snaps. This was about safety. Community safety. I raise a finger. Isaiah clicks a button on the projector. The drone video plays on the big screen. Karen, wire cutters, fake survey flags, spraying a red line across a road she doesn't own, then staring straight at the camera with a laugh. Karen's face drains of color. One of the older board members stands up. Karen, is this real? They edited it. Karen stammers. Isaiah pulls out a flash drive. Raw footage. Time-stamped. Audio enhanced. Already sent to the Sheriff's Department and County Zoning Board. Another board member stands. Karen, you lied to us? Karen spins. You don't understand. He was being aggressive. He didn't belong. You mean I didn't imply? I say. Karen turns to me, Mask off now. You've been a thorn in this neighborhood's side since day one. I made this place livable. No, I say, you just made it look like your version of perfect. White fences, white people, white rules. That lands like a punch. Karen opens her mouth, but no sound comes out. One final blow. I reach into my jacket, pull out a bill. I'm installing spike strips on the ranch road. Legally, I have the right. But out of courtesy, I'll lease her access back for a monthly fee. Laughter, shock, whispers. Karen looks like she might faint. Justice is close. But the real twist? That's coming next. Karen doesn't show up to the emergency HOA board meeting the next day. But her absence doesn't stop the collapse. Not anymore. I arrive just as the sheriff's department SUV pulls up behind me. Two deputies step out. One nods at me. The other's already got a clipboard in hand. We don't exchange pleasantries. We don't need to. They're here for her. See, what Karen didn't realize when she sprayed that red boundary line across my gate was that she was committing a felony, tampering with property boundaries, impersonating an official surveyor. Oh, and let's not forget, using HOA funds to purchase private surveillance equipment, installed on my tree. Isaiah handed all of it to the county zoning office. The local DA jumped on it. That morning, Karen's doorbell rang, and instead of HOA members delivering muffins, it was a sheriff. They serve her with cease and desist, a trespass charge, and a civil court summons. But it's worse than that. Her board is turning on her fast. A man named Greg, a wiry guy with tortoiseshell glasses and a real estate license, takes her seat at the head of the table. He clears his throat. We place Ms. Holloway on indefinite suspension, pending legal review of her conduct. This board does not condone her actions. The board members nod, somber. A few glance at me. A few more look embarrassed. She misled this board, Greg says. Fabricated jurisdiction, misused HOA resources, and targeted a private landowner. I don't gloat. I don't have to. Karen's empire is burning, without me ever striking the match. All I did was expose the wires she tried to hide behind her smile. But then the real twist drops. Isaiah stands up beside me, briefcase once again in hand. We're not done. He clicks the projector. A new document appears on the screen, a financial ledger. Karen's name. Dozens of HOA fund withdrawals. Invoices for property security that never existed. Reimbursements for legal consultations that were never authorized. Every receipt. Every date. The funds she used to lock Mr. Jackson out. Isaiah says, they came from your HOA dues. Without approval. A woman in the back gasps. A man leans forward, mouth agape. She's been embezzling. Someone whispers. Greg stiffens. We had no idea. She rerouted community funds to stage her own private war against the only black landowner for miles. Isaiah says, that's not just illegal. That's intentional. One older gentleman, silent until now, finally speaks. I didn't like what she was doing, but I didn't say anything. He says quietly, thought maybe she was keeping things under control. But it wasn't about control. He looks at me, eyes full of something raw. It was about keeping him out. Now the room is silent. Isaiah sets a final folder on the table. Mr. Jackson is filing a civil suit. You can cooperate and distance yourselves from Ms. Holloway, or you can be listed as co-defendants. Your choice. Nobody argues. Nobody even breathes. The board unanimously votes to ban Karen permanently, freeze her access to funds, and cooperate fully with county investigators. But karma's not done with her yet. The news breaks that evening, local headline. HOA president accused of targeting black landowner. Faces criminal probe. The footage I posted goes viral. Reddit picks it up. TikTok stitches it. A local podcast names the gate Karen's folly. And the best part? I don't have to remove the spike strips. Karen asks to lease access through my land, just to reach her own driveway. Through Isaiah, I draft an agreement. $1,200 per month. $500 security deposit. Surveillance at all times. No access without written consent. She signs it. I make her sign it in person. Karen shows up a week later. Sunglasses on, hair messy, face pale. No BMW this time. It's gone. Foreclosed. She says nothing as she scribbles her name at the bottom of the contract. I point to the clause at the bottom. Just so you're aware, Karen, you'll be paying me to walk past the spikes you installed to keep me out. She doesn't look up. She just nods and leaves. And that's when it hits me. This isn't just justice. This is survival. This is how you reclaim stolen ground. Not with anger, but with proof, patience, and power they never saw coming. 3 weeks later, the gate swings freely again. No padlock, no barbed wire, no cameras nailed to trees. Just morning sun spilling over the hills, warming the dust-covered tracks where my grandfather used to ride on horseback. Before HOAs, before zoning wars, before women like Karen try to choke the land with rules made to keep people like me out. I sip my coffee on the porch and watch the wind ripple across the tall grass. Peace feels different now, not like something handed down, but something earned, fought for, secured. Karen? She's gone. Moved out in the middle of the night. The house was listed online as a motivated sale. Her BMW was repossessed. Turns out that HOA fund she abused, she'd been dipping into it for a while. Forged checks, fake invoices, even a home improvement loan tied to community accounts. The audit wiped her out. The lawsuit? Still pending. But her settlement offer came in last night. Full compensation for legal fees, emotional damages, and a very public written apology notarized and delivered by her attorney. It starts with, "To Mr. Jackson, whose dignity I fail to respect, and whose rights I violated out of prejudice and fear." It ends with a sentence no one thought she'd ever write. "You were right. I was wrong. And I will carry this shame with me." I'm not sure she believes a word of it, but the signature's real. The consequences are real. And so is the change. Since the story broke, neighbors who never said a word now wave when they pass my fence. Some stop by to apologize. A few bring pie or baked bread, stumbling through awkward conversations that are really just confessions. I should have spoken up. I didn't know it had gotten that bad. I was scared to get involved. I don't forgive all of them, but I see some of them trying, and that matters. The new HOA president, Greg, visits last week. Alone, no clipboard, no attitude, just a man with a folder and a mission. We're rewriting the charter, he tells me, removing outdated codes, adding anti-discrimination clauses, mandatory ethics training. Your story woke a lot of people up. I nod, watching a hawk drift high above the ridgeline. "You can't fix what you don't admit." I say. "Exactly," he replies. "You open the door." I smile. Correction. I cut the lock off the door. We laugh, but underneath it, there's understanding. A shift. Later that evening, I walk the path along my fence line. I stop at the gate. Now reinforced, camera-wired, legally protected. But I don't feel guarded. I feel grounded. The spikes Karen once hoped would keep me out now mark the entrance to a story where I stood my ground and won. This land, my family's land, isn't just soil and timber. It's proof. Proof that power doesn't always wear a badge or sit behind a desk. Sometimes it sits quietly on a porch, watching the sun rise over a road no one can block anymore. And in that silence, there's victory. Because now they pay me to pass through it.